this old metal tank top or something like that, and it has the perfect shape for a shield. So I've started sanding on it, and I want to sand it, and then I'm going to paint it with a rust reformer. I'll show you what it looks like after this. So I finished sanding everything off, and then I wet it down real good and let it dry in the sun. Now I'm getting ready to mark holes for the handle that's going to go on the inside. Everything's drilled out to take a 1/4 inch bolt. The holes are drilled at 5/16, and I'll let you see what it looks like when I get done with that. Like in the front, at this point, you just see the 2 bolts. They're rounded. And then there's the inside, and I'm going to cut those off flush with the grinder, and then I'm going to wrap that handle with leather. Coated the front with the Rust-Oleum rust reformer, so this is going to turn any remaining rust into a paintable surface. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll come back and we'll paint the back. So now I put a coat of gray primer on the back, and I'm going to let that dry. Once the primer dried, I just ground off the rest of that bolt with the grinder. Now I'm going to hit those with primer and then sand the front. And wash the front of this shield, so I'm going to let it dry in the sun and then put a coat of primer on. Front was drying, I put on a coat of black Rust-Oleum, and I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll turn that over and coat the front in the same black. Painted the front black, I put a coat of primer on, so I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll paint the front black, and then I've got a stencil that I'm going to put on the very center, and that's going to be a white star. Front of the shield with the Rust-Oleum flat black, so I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to put my stencil on, and that'll be it. Stencil on it, I didn't like it, so I decided to paint over it, so I'm just going to leave it black. So that's the finished front side that just needs to dry.